It is bone strange. My marrow thinks aloud. This is my country before the roots through grapnel, and I feel the stream from the brow near. Chempaka blooms, there old tembusu bright with superstition, now sunlight marching through. I'll plant my feet. The cough of Albuquerque, wind stiff with remorse, a new beginning touched my shoulder.
These 15 sets of documents contain drafts of Cough of Albuquerque, a 5-part poem by Emeritus Professor Edwin Thumboo, one of Singapore's best-known pioneer poets. These drafts were written in the mid-1950s, and this was just before the release of Rip of Earth, his first collection of poetry to be published, and before his iconic national poems such as Ulysses by the Merlion and Catering for the People, which he wrote in the 1970s. Prof, thank you for taking the time to share with us about Cough of Albuquerque. Could you tell us more about this poem and why you chose this title?
I was beginning to study modern poetry, especially those by W.B. Yeats and T.S. Eliot. And cough, that comes from one of Eliot's poems.
Gerontion.
Yes. Yes, that's the one. The goat coughs in the attic, and it was meant to be sexual. And I wanted that to be in the poem. Well, I found it a bit curious because that is not a normal way of putting the thing. But I thought it was interesting. Why of Albuquerque? I wanted to also see the colonial past that made us into colonies. And Albuquerque conquered Malacca in 1511. So I had very clear reasons in my mind regarding the title, but it wasn't clear to others, unless they were serious students of Eliot.
This poem utilizes a very unusual blend of Western mythic legends and homegrown folklore. May I know why you decided to take this approach for this poem?
All the civilizations that we have are strong because of their folklore and their mythology. But our mythologies were really developed outside Singapore, outside Malaya. And if we are going to make our own civilization, our own identity, etc., we need myths. We need myths. Your myths have a long history that in the end are a distillation of the culture of the place.
Many people are more familiar with the poems that you have written in the late 1970s, and I think Cough of Albuquerque provides a very interesting look into your early use of such imagery and techniques. They certainly form an invaluable part of our literary heritage.
Well, I'm glad you think that way, about the poem. That means you have really read the poem and tried to look at what I tried to do in the poem. Very few long poems in the modern period. Life has become so fast nowadays that there is no longer that ability to look at something long and connected and to study it and to see how it spreads, to look at its origins, to look at what it tried to do. It's interesting because of the lessons it holds.